Good morning, girls, and welcome back to another science class. In the previous class, we discussed the several aspects of our skeletal system, like the types of bones, classification of human skeletal system, fracture, X-rays, etc. In today's class, we will be discussing about joints and another important organ of our body, that is skin. So let's get started. Joints. In our daily life, as we move different parts of our body, like while walking, running, or even eating, I'm sure you must have noticed different places at which your body parts can bend or turn from head to toes. The bones in our body are connected to each other by means of ligaments. The different places at which we can bend, turn, or move our body can be called as joints. Joints are the places where two or more than two bones are connected to each other. Joints are of two types: movable joints and immovable joints. Movable joints include basically those bones which can move, for example, bones of arms and legs, whereas immovable joints include those bones which cannot move, for example, bones of the skull, except the bones of the lower jaw. Under movable joints, we have three more subtypes. Let's study about them. Movable joints are further classified into three subtypes, that is, hinge joint, ball and socket joint, and gliding joint. Hinge joint. Hinge joint is a type of joint which allows the movement of bones only in one direction. It moves in a 180-degree angle. We find these type of joint in the joints of our elbow and knees. Ball and socket joint. In this type of joint, the bones can move in two or more directions in a 360-degree angle. These kind of joints are found in between the bones of hip and shoulder. Gliding joint. In this type of joint, the bones can only slide over each other. We find these kind of joints between the bones of our wrist and ankle. Let's move towards our next subtopic, that is the skin. The outermost covering of the body is called the skin. The skin is an important and large organ of all the living things. The skin has hair. There are nails on the skin at the tips of the fingers and toes. The skin gives us the sense of touch. The skin is an important sensory organ of the body. The skin performs the important functions of protecting the internal parts of the body like muscles, bones, organ systems, etc. It helps in preserving the moisture in the body. It also helps in synthesizing vitamin D, releasing sweat to regulate body temperature, giving protection from the heat and cold. It also functions as the sensory organ of touch. Structure of the skin. Human skin is made up of two main layers. The outermost layer is called the epidermis and the layer below it is called the dermis. Below the dermis, there is a network of blood vessels and nerve fibers. The subcutaneous layer under this network maintains normal body temperature. The epidermis has various layers. Melanin. Melanin is a pigment that is present in the cells of the epidermis. The word pigment means something which keeps the natural color intact. The melanin is synthesized in certain glands in the skin. The percentage of melanin decides the fairness or darkness of the skin. The color of the skin also depends on the climate. Melanin also protects our skin and the inner parts of our body from the harmful ultraviolet sun rays. It is melanin that determines the color of our hair too. Jet black hair is due to the pure melanin, while brown, lighter hair is due to sulfur in the melanin, and reddish hair due to iron in the melanin. Sweat glands. Now, when we walk or play in the sun, we get tired, but at the same time, our skin becomes wet. This is because of sweat. In the skin, there are glands which secrete sweat. They are called sweat glands. Now, the main reason why we sweat is after playing in the hot sun or after hard physical labor, the temperature of the skin rises. Then, sweat is released. It helps to reduce the temperature of the body. Our body temperature usually remains constant at approximately 37 degrees Celsius. Skin aging. Skin aging is characterized by features such as wrinkling, loss of elasticity, laxity, and rough textured appearance. As we grow older, the proportion of fat beneath the skin reduces. However, the previously taut skin does not shrink. This causes wrinkles on the skin of the older people. Always remember, for the health of our skin, it is important to keep it clean. Discriminating between people based on their skin color is unscientific and wrong. Avoid the temptation of using artificial means to become fair. Before we end today's discussion, let's quickly revise all that we have learnt in this chapter. All the bones in the body, along with the cartilage, together form the skeletal system. The skeleton gives shape and support to our body. The outer covering of the body is called the skin. The skeletal system and the skin perform an important function of protecting the body and the internal body parts. We must take care of our skeletal system and skin. The skull, the rib cage, the backbone, and the bones of the arms and legs are the main parts of the human skeletal system. Epidermis and dermis are the two main layers of the human skin. With this, we come to an end of this chapter. Hope this video was informative. Thank you for being attentive. God bless you all.